These are movie franchises that have turned into garbage and need to stop making sequels versus movie franchises that actually need more sequels. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate the first two Sonic movies. If you asked me like a year ago, I definitely would have said that this franchise should have just ended, but I think Sonic 3 was actually really solid and the franchise finally found the correct tone for these type of movies. Now I'm actually kind of excited to see where they can go with Sonic 4, maybe even a fifth one, more spin-offs and stuff, so I definitely think they should actually keep this franchise going. But I 100% think Dune needs to end after its third film, Dune Messiah. Now listen, I know that sounds bad. Let me explain myself because I am like one of the biggest Dune fans in the world. I've read the books. I absolutely adore Dune Part 1 and 2. They're some of my favorite movies ever created. But the director of the first two Dune movies, Denis Villeneuve, has already said he has no plans of coming back after Dune Messiah and doing the third book, which would be the fourth movie. But Warner Brothers is apparently planning on moving on and doing the rest of the franchise without him. Like the Dune TV show we got last year without Villeneuve working on it was honestly a complete disaster from start to finish. Now this is kind of different because it's adapting from a book written by Brian Herbert, not Frank Herbert, it's his son. But still, this shows that just because the new Dune movies are so amazing, you can't just plug in any cast, crew, and director and have some amazing movie still. Denis Villeneuve is what makes this new Dune franchise work so well. And the next book that would be adapted for the fourth movie would be Children of Dune, which I absolutely love, but this story gets so intricate and weird, you can't just bring in any director. Are there people out there that could handle it besides Denis Villeneuve? Yes, I'm sure there are, but I'd rather just not have this franchise continue than get bad adaptations of Dune. I feel like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise not continuing is such a waste. I know there was a bunch of the legal issues with Johnny Depp, and now we don't know if he'll come back or not. Obviously, the ideal scenario would be Johnny Depp coming back as Jack Sparrow at least one more time, and at least you can use him to maybe introduce like the new main character going forward. But I feel like leaving this franchise behind is just such a waste. And for some reason, like no other studios feel like they can make a pirate movie or TV show. Like Disney made Pirates of the Caribbean, and everyone else was like, okay, we'll just let them do the pirate things and completely abandon that kind of genre. And we've had so many reported reboots of this, like, oh, they're gonna have a new franchise of Pirates of the Caribbean with Margot Robbie as the lead or Ayo Edebiri. None of those have ever come true. They all seem dead in the water now. It's been years since we've heard about any of those. Like I said, yeah, obviously bringing back Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow is the best case scenario, but even if you can't, you could still tell a new story around new pirates. There's just so much untapped potential in this world. We have a ton more to go over, but quickly drop a like on the video and let me know one franchise that you think should end or needs more movies in the comments below. The fact that this graphic has 8 Fast and Furious movies and it doesn't even contain all of them is insane. We're coming up on like the 11th one of these, I believe, is coming out next year. It's going to be Fast 10 Part 2, which they smartly renamed to Fast 11 because yeah, who wants to watch 10 Part 2? But man, this movie franchise kind of fizzled out like 6 movies ago at this point. Like now it's just become more of a meme than anything of how ridiculous these films are. We're going to space. We're basically becoming superheroes in this racing franchise. Like just please leave this alone and end it. Sadly, I don't think that's going to be happening because these movies are absolutely money glitches overseas. They make a ton across different markets and obviously they are still popular in the US. So they're probably just going to keep milking these things until one of them flops and loses like $300 million. I know James Gunn is cooking his new DCU with Superman and it's going to have its own version of Batman there, but I'm sorry, I need Matt Reeves' The Batman universe to continue going super strong. Now, yes, it does seem like we're finally going to be getting the Batman Part 2 in 2027, which is so far away, but he's finally going to be finishing up the script, it seems like. But I am getting greedy. I don't want just another Batman movie. Just flesh out this entire new Batman solo universe. Like, let James Gunn do his own thing and just have your own story here, because this is legitimately some of the best superhero content we've gotten in years. And I'm happy that Warner Brothers has come out and said that they are working in early stages of production on new spin-offs from Matt Reeves' The Batman universe. Now, this doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get them, but at least they are thinking about it. Like, the Penguin miniseries was so good. If you just can bring back the same team to work on new villains that are maybe introduced in the Batman Part 2 or ones that are going to be in there, like maybe a Scarecrow series, this could be absolutely incredible. I think not giving Robert Pattinson's Batman his own trilogy would be a shame. Now, like I said, I know we're not even getting the second one until 2027, so a third one would probably be like 2030 at the absolute earliest, or if they have another like 5-year gap, it would be looking at like 2032. But come on, you can't tell me a trilogy with this character after having multiple spin-offs of his villains all accumulating in one huge finale would be absolutely incredible. Can we please stop making new Toy Story movies? Like, even Quentin Tarantino has gone on record and being like he absolutely loved the first 3 Toy Story movies. Think the third one was an absolutely amazing ending, and out of spite he won't even watch the 4th one because he felt like it was pointless. Now they're making a 5th one coming out next year. This franchise started in the year 1995, and like I said, it's not like Toy Story 4 is an abomination of a kids film or anything, But it was a perfect trilogy, and they just keep making more and more because now Pixar is slowly turning into this just sequel machine. I don't see this stopping anytime soon. If this movie makes $1 billion, you can guarantee we're going to be getting a sixth Toy Story. They'll probably try more spin-offs like the Lightyear movie, even though that was a flop. It's not going to stop them from trying again. Especially when you have their Pixar sequels like Inside Out 2 making like $1.6 billion, and then they have a new original movie like Elio that I'll give you it doesn't look very good, but this is on pace to be a huge flop. They're just gonna keep printing these sequels out forever. I'm really looking forward to getting hopefully a new trilogy for the Planet of the Apes that started with the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a couple years ago. This movie, I was really shocked how good it is. Does it quite reach the highs of the last Caesar trilogy? No. But it was a great introduction into a new era for these movies and introduced a really interesting new human-ape conflict that I feel like could be really interesting to explore going forward. Now, this movie didn't do amazing at the box office, but luckily there are reports that there is going to be a sequel released in 2027 for this, so hopefully that movie does a little bit better and guarantees that this franchise continues going on, because these movies really have no business being as good as they actually are. I could really mention pretty much any horror franchise on this list as franchises that need to end, but I'm going to highlight Saw specifically. And it's not even like the new Saw movies are actually like absolutely horrible or anything, but at a certain point it just gets so redundant of you having all these sequels and prequels to sequels, and you're just doing the same different things over and over again, filling in every little crack in the timeline possible. Screw it, we're just gonna throw Scream in here at the same time while I'm talking about Saw, because like now they're doing Scream 7, but in case you missed it, they've now lost Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera are not coming back for this movie. What are they even gonna do at this point? They're recasting people from like the first Scream movies that completely were dead. It's like, come on, Scream was literally a parody and satire of like the horror slasher genre at the very beginning, and now it's pretty much become the exact same thing that it was making fun of for all those years, which is pretty much true for most franchises that go on this long. Please just end this at this point. Just try making a new horror franchise. I believe in you guys. You can do it. And this one's kind of weird because Marvel in general definitely needs to slow down their output, and it does look like they're going to be doing that over the next couple of years, but I desperately need them to continue the Fantastic Four franchise in a big way. Like, these guys deserve their own trilogy after Fantastic Four First Steps and them being in the next two Avengers movies. These are some of the most iconic Marvel characters of all time, and while I do really like the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, it's definitely not great. It's just dumb fun. But this has potential to really be a great take on Marvel's first family that have never really got an amazing adaptation before. And the MCU is in a huge identity crisis right now, so why not focus in the next new era of the MCU on both the X-Men and Fantastic Four and make these guys central players going forward? I'm really hoping that's their plan. I mean, we're coming out of the gate strong with Galactus and Doctor Doom, but there's so many more stories they could tell with these characters. I hope they don't kill any of them off in Secret Wars. I feel like that would just be so cheap and such a waste of potential for these new characters you're introducing. I really like the John Wick franchise, but they are kind of pushing it with how many new sequels and different spin-offs they're announcing. Like, John Wick Chapter 4 was a completely amazing and perfect ending for the character and franchise. As you know, this week we're getting Ballerina with Ana de Armas, which I think looks like a fine enough movie. But of course, we're not stopping there. Lionsgate just announced at CinemaCon earlier this year we're getting a John Wick 5, which, like I said, if you've seen John Wick 4, kind of makes absolutely no sense unless there's one very specific thing regarding hell they could do with this storyline that I think would work great. Then we're getting Ballerina, which takes place in between the second and third movie, I'm pretty sure. Now we're getting a spinoff from Kane, who was in the fourth movie. He was a great character in that. Does he need his own spinoff? I really don't know. We're getting another movie that takes place after Chapter 4, following The High Table. We're getting a John Wick anime series and a video game. Now, the video game could actually be kind of gas, I'm not gonna lie. They already had that Continental TV show that ended a couple years ago. I don't think anybody watched that. I'm hoping the spinoffs are good, but it probably would have been better if they just ended with the perfect ending in Chapter 4. If you made it this far, make sure to drop a like on this video, and if you want to see more like this, tap the video above my head where I rank the only perfect superhero movies to ever exist. Thank you for watching.